Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. The KK government is looking for people who have got dissenting voices and they are being silenced. We have seen an upsurge in the number of people who are being apprehended just to make sure that no one will speak in the wake of the political oppression, something that some people are telling me only happened during the Nyayo era. We have seen people like Maina Njenga being abducted, Raila's bodyguard, Babu Owino, those who are speaking against the policies, the unpopular policies that are being forced on Kenyans. And in lieu of this, very many Kenyans have been cowed and there are no people who want to talk about it. People are either looking for ways to keep quiet or they are silently joining the government. Now, one interesting thing is that those who have been apprehended are being labeled with charges. Sometimes you hear that Pauline Njoroge has been found with narcotics. Then you hear that Maina Njenga has been found with some illegal guns. And you wonder, where have they been all this time? Now, when everyone is trying to be silenced and they are being cowed, one person is speaking boldly and talking about things that will only infuriate this government. Boniface Mwangi. Boniface Mwangi is an activist who started as a photographer, and he really captured what happened in 2007 when ODM and PNU were really fighting. Very many people were displaced, very many people were killed and maimed. Then he decided now to go full throttle on activism. He spares no one. He never spared Mwai Kibaki, never spared Uhuru Kenyatta, and now he's becoming even a more thorn in the flesh in the Ruto administration. Now, Boniface Mwangi was on national TV, and he said that William Ruto is an illegitimate president who is fighting to gain legitimacy by responding to people's quest through police brutality. And he's telling William Ruto that his days are numbered because he is soiling his hands with blood. He is calling William Ruto a busybody because he's saying that instead of William Ruto focusing on ensuring that he changes the lives of Kenyans and fulfill the promises that he gave, he is now engrossed and focusing on killing people, something that he says people will not agree. People must fight. And Boniface is calling upon Kenyans to rise up against the illegitimate policies, against unpopular policies like high taxes, regardless of the political or tribal affiliation. And he's saying that activism is not only left for a few individuals, but all Kenyans must rise up, because when hunger comes, it does not select. When there is insecurity in an area, it does not select. And Boniface Mwangi says that when William Ruto disbanded the SSU, the Special Service Unit, that they say was under the control and command of George Kinoti, the unit that William Ruto has accused of killing people and throwing in River Yala. Boniface says that he really praised Ruto because he thought that he would not repeat, ostensibly, quote-unquote, what Uhuru Kenyatta was doing. But he's saying that William Ruto is even worse. He has turned into a dictator a few months into office. Just take a look at what Boniface Mwangi is saying.
Let me ask you this. You started off as a photographer.
Yes.
And a very good one at that, by the way. A very good photographer.
Thank you.
And then you switched to this activism and you held on to it. How has that been for you?
Tough. So most Kenyans don't remember that about 15 years ago, we had post-election violence. That led me to quit my job.
They forget.
Yeah, they forget.
15 years ago, 2008.
Yeah, there was a tribal war in this country. Over 1,000 people were killed, 500,000 displaced by politicians fighting for power. And so I covered that violence, and then that moved me to start showing people the pictures and tell them we can never do that again. And then move from there to telling people, you know what, we need to organize as Kenyans and demand for what is good for us. And I went to stadium and stood when Kibaki was there. And I was beaten. The price is very high. I say seen a urologist in my 20s. And I'm not an old man, because the beatings, police try and beat particular areas when they beat you up. you get label names, but also the opposite side is you win. Every day I live along Langata Road. Every day when I pass through Langata Road, I see Langata Road Primary School playground, and I say that's a result of activism. We saved Rescourse Primary, that the land had been grabbed. There's Naka Primary. So there's a lot of achievements by standing up for the truth. The other thing is about the people that we are fighting are cowards, and they don't like being exposed, and they don't like being challenged. And that's the reason why they respond with violence, they respond with murder, they respond with arrests. Like now when people are talking about food, if you look at the protests that happened in the last 3 weeks, it wasn't about the server or the elections, it was about the cost of living. Yeah. And the police responded with what? With violence, because a government that is afraid of being told the truth is actually an illegitimate government. My call is, what you're saying actually is that every single person should be an active citizen. It doesn't matter if you're UDA, Azimio, or Jubilee. The moment the government gets into power, it's our government, right? It's everybody's government. Yeah. No, it's the work of every single citizen to hold that government accountable. Because unga ya 200 ni ya 200 kwa UDA na Azimio. If there is insecurity in your area, it affects both Azimio and UDA supporters. So we need to hold the government accountable collectively. Stop taking sides in the issue about the Constitution. Because the truth is, the pettiness that Uhuru led this country with for about 10 years is the pettiness that Ruto is trying to repeat. Uhuru went after Joho, took his guns, did very many things, kidnapped people, murdered people. And Ruto is doing same path, forgetting that power ends. Power is not forever. Power is transient. So I'd like to ask the President, apart from him being a busybody, who is everywhere opening projects, focus on the work that you're elected to do. And that work is not killing Kenyans. Because right now, the President is focused on killing Kenyans to prove a point to Raila Odinga. But Kenyans don't forget. I don't think he wants that blood in his hands.
Are you surprised it's happened less than a year since he's been in office?
I'm shocked because like a month ago, I went on TV and said, I'm so happy that the President disbanded extrajudicial killing hit squads. You used to have Rivayala bodies, containers. He came and said, those days have come to an end and I'm disbanding them. And then, less than a month later, we have 50 people killed by the police. And let me tell you, the police have never called me and say, how do we deal with the protesters or how do we call a protest? You don't need live ammunition to disrupt a protest or to disband people. You can use rubber bullets, you have tear gas, you have batons. There are many non-lethal ways of calling a protest. But the problem is the Kome, who is doing a lot of illegal things, wants to prove to the President, I'm capable of killing as many people as you want me to kill. The blood of the people who have died in the past 1 month are in the hands of Ruto and Kome. And you should never let them forget that. You should tell them you kill these people for nothing.
Many experts are saying that courtesy of those statements, the next thing you're going to see is that the police is going to surround his home. And you will not be surprised that you wake up to some evening breaking news or morning breaking news that Boniface Mwangi has been abducted, that he has been arraigned in court, that they don't know, the family does not even know where he is, and they will pile charges. Maybe you will hear all of a sudden that Boniface Mwangi has been found with illegal guns, that maybe he is in possession of bang or heroin or cocaine, because that is the same thing they have done with everyone who's got a dissenting voice. In this government, it is either their way or the highway. You either join them or join them. They don't want any other way. And this is the reason why people are being brutalized there, people are being murdered, they even remove people from the houses. And one thing that Boniface is saying is that it is high time that we should wake up for the third liberation. The first liberation was that when we were fighting the colonial masters. The second liberation was when people were fighting the one-party state and people wanted to come back to multipartism. Now that we have multipartism, we are fighting another kind of dictatorship. And this is coupled with economic, social, and political freedom that people must rise up to get. Emancipation does not come easily. Over time immemorial, It has been proved that the oppressor cannot give you freedom easily. People have to fight on the streets, running battles with the police. But one thing that I can assure you, that someone will one day take political responsibility. Because in the wake of what is happening, some policemen are taking orders. But when the time shall come, each and every person shall sit on the dock alone. You will not say that you are killing on behalf of William Ruto, or you are killing on behalf of your boss. It will be you who pulled the trigger. I want to call upon the police to understand that when Kenyans are fighting in the streets, they are fighting even for the police. I have seen some of them living in squalid conditions. If you look at even the salaries of our civil servants, there are delays here and there. Even the increment is not being achieved, and you are given several reasons which I don't buy. Things are not looking good. The IMF is really putting conditions that is not going to be good for our civil servants. All the policies spell doom. Very soon, because this is something that the government has signed, they are going to come up with something called reducing the wage bill, and several civil servants are going to be retrenched, including the police themselves. It is high time we talk to this administration to make them understand that we are the people who have the power. Any other person who is paid by taxpayers' money must exercise those powers on our behalf, and we must be ruled how we want. When we say through public participation that we don't want the finance bill, that should be it. Because democracy demands that it is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. When we say we don't need this, the government does not need to force it on our throat. And I want to say this as I finish. The only two groups that are now left to help Kenyans are the judiciary and the activists. Because all the other bodies have been captured and have been pocketed. And Kenyans have been left alone. They are either to fight on the streets, and on the streets they are being butchered. So the courts have got the powers to stop all these illegal means. This is why we applaud the courts when they said that the 52 CSS that Ruto appointed are illegal. The only problem with the courts is that they have become a toothless dog, because the executive has always ignored their orders and the rulings. So ladies and gentlemen, let people rise up and speak to the government, because it is our voices that must carry the day. The Constitution says in chapter 1 that we the people have got the power, and the power